So the question is uh, the Shunya state that everybody's talking about. And the question is, how do you reach there? So there are methods, of course, like you talked about in meditation, you observe your thoughts, and little by little, you start seeing the separation that there are thoughts and there is something within you which is aware of the thoughts. And yes, that separation is important, and then only you can go to the next step of paramita, that meaning you reverse your awareness, fold it into itself. Instead of being aware of your thoughts, you start remaining aware of your awareness, which is very subtle and very difficult, but that's the ultimate way of doing it. But these are all exercises, right? So once you go into the paramita stage, and that's when you experience the just awareness by itself. That awareness is aware of awareness. That's it, that it is there. And then you become, go to the next state of salinta. Salinta is basically dhyan, that you just become engrossed into the awareness. Then you are continuously aware of that salinta state. And of course, then you go into the samadhi state, which is the next state. After samadhi state is the shunya state. So the question is like, yes, when we meditate, we definitely go into these steps, mindfulness, aware of the thoughts, all those things. But that still is duality. There is a thoughtless state and there are thoughts, right? And eventually, yes, you remain aware of the awareness and salinta. So ultimately, only the awareness remains. So in part of the meditative experience, you can also say that when I totally get engrossed, the sansar just disappears. There are no thoughts anymore. There is nothing remains in meditation. So that's the experience of shunya state. But how do you transfer it into the day-to-day life? That's the most important thing. So thoughts are about people, objects, or situations. The same objects and people and situations that you see outside are reflected in our psyche, and we keep looking at it. And one of those thoughts, of course, is that I am this body. So when you walk away, you don't even remain the body. You get into intermingled with the shunya state, the consciousness. But all these things are there, but the understanding has to be that no efforts are really needed to really experience this shunya state. Meditation is only to make you realize that all your efforts are meaningless, because in the end, the sansar disappears anyway. So when you start realizing the futility of the uh, sansar, running after the sansar, your thoughts start simmering down, because you realize that whatever you're running after, even after all that, whatever you get is something temporary. It's not going to stay with you permanently, including your body. Your body is also impermanent. So when you start absorbing this, grasping this, what happens is, even with your open eyes, you walk around and you see that the whole sansar is nothing but a dream which is continuously moving all the time, just like a dream. So then your thinking process starts slowing down, and then you start realizing that shunya state was always there. It's not something that's a destination you have to reach there or anything like that. It's within you, and that's your true nature. So nothing really needs to be done. But yet, the thoughts always overcome, always take over time to time. So repetitive meditation, of course, helps. And then at some point, to get absorbed into the salinta and then eventually into samadhi state. So when the shunya state expands, in a true sense, shunya state is where nothing remains. Whether you are in meditation or not in meditation, it doesn't matter. In shunya state is a state of purnata also. Only shunya can be purna. Only emptiness can be infinity. So infinity and infinite and the nothingness are intertwined. There's two sides of the same coin, how you look at it. So when you reach the shunya state, everything else becomes part of it, because it's infinite. So and that experience is the experience of the divinity that happens within you. But in that case, if the infinity the divinity is infinite. That means it's inclusive of everything. So that you have to translate into your daily life. You have to walk around as divinity. That means whatever happens in your life, you accept it. You don't try to change it. You don't try to change people. You don't try to change the situations. You don't try to correct mistakes of others. You don't try to, invest into gaining something, desires or anything from sansar. Famous philosopher Rumi was from Middle East. He beautifully said that whenever I had tried to do something, I kept on running after things, and I found nothing but stress. When and I wanted peace, but when I stopped running, I found the peace within myself. I realized that what I was running after was already there within me. So that Shunya state is the state of peace and tranquility. And in that case, when that happens, everything that you do need will come to you unasked, and you enjoy those things. So mind will not accept this logic. How can you get something without doing something? Which is what sansar teaches us, right? That you work whatever you want, you have to work hard and get it and all that. So you still keep working, but without desires, without like running after it, that I want this. Don't make it a desire. And then you keep doing your normal life and all that. Your connection with the shunya state itself will make you start realizing the rewards that are coming to you. And in shunya state is state of zero. There is nothing there. You dissolve your ego disappears because your body is found to be meaningless, because body is nothing but also borrowing the natural elements to sustain itself. So body is borrowing from the world. Mind is also borrowing different ideas, beliefs, concepts. I am this, I am Jain, I am Hindu, all those things. I'm a doctor. Whatever, you need sansar to tell you who you are. So it's a dependent condition, the ego. And that's all there is. When you start realizing that if you really meditate on ego, you will not find it. Ego is not an individual entity. Even a simple stone on the road has a better existence than your ego, right? A stone, at least you can see it, touch it, and you can describe it. How do you describe the ego? Without any help. Stone is standing by itself. You can describe the stone by itself, right? So it's a physical solid structure. There is nothing like ego. Ego always requires someone else to be defined. Whether your house, your car, your spouse, your children, your friends, whatever, your degree, whatever your knowledge, all these things are gained from interconnection with sansar. So it's a collection, it's a collective realization that there is something called ego, but it's not there. On further inquiry, you realize that ego is always dependent on the sansar. If there is no sansar, you cannot have ego. So instead of getting rid of the sansar, you have to transcend the ego and find out something that just stands by itself. Shunya state does not need anything. One needs two to be defined. That, okay, repetition of one is two or three or five. All the numbers are interconnected, but shunya stands apart. When nothing remains, shunya is still there. So that's the understanding that realization you need to have, that in this state, I am totally free. And yet things will keep on happening in your life. Beautiful things will happening. And simple things will make you happy. When you are in a shunya state, means you are nothing. You are nothing compared to this vast emptiness that you experience. You are nothing. When you are nothing, then everything becomes something. Even tiny experience, breathe, your breath or your heartbeats or a simple food you eat, you become appreciative. Does not have to be fancy or tasty foods. A simple food, a piece of bread will make you happy when you're hungry. So you live in that state. So little by little, you change your lifestyle and you realize and start applying Stop being nosy about the sansar. Don't try to fix the problems. Don't try to think for others unless they ask for your help. All those things, they have to be realized and applied in daily life. And at the same time, continue to do meditation. So that's how the Shunya state will start revealing itself, because now your mind has seen no need to think. There is no need to think. If I don't want anything in life, if I have no desires, if I don't want to fix anybody, what do I need to think for? That Shunya state can happen now. And you remain connected in that Shunya state and enjoy the bliss 24/7. Yes, it won't be easy. Thoughts will arise, and thoughts are like drug addicts. It's an addiction. Once one thought arises, another comes right after that, and after that, and after that, and before you know, you are caught up in that chain reaction. So you have to be careful, and then you have to restore yourself. But time to time, throughout the day, at least meditate at least once or twice a day, and you try to fix your inner balance, and then Shunya state you can continue to extend and make it 24/7 at some point. All right, so much for today. I'll shut off there.